So, this one time at band camp, there was this upperclassman that everyone loved. His name was Oscar Ryland, and all the freshmen loved him. And one time we just all the a bunch of freshmen just came up and gave him like a group hug, and we were just all clinging onto him. It's like my favorite picture from freshman band camp.
One time, our field commander freshman year, he was running around in a circle giving the band high fives for doing a good job, and he totally wiped out and ruined his uniform. But at the time it was the gross uniforms. So I mean, it didn't really matter, but it's still funny. This one time at band camp, we created this game where we would take clothespins and pin it on people's clothes or hair while they're not looking, and later they'll be like, oh my god, what is this? And it just goes on and on. So the person that is clipped, they clip it onto another person, and it's just infinite. It's weird.
No, I'm not telling a band camp. No.
Go.
I'm not telling a band camp story. I'm not.
Go.
Can I be negative?
One time at band camp, we gave the band director a blowtorch as a gift. And I'll just leave it at that.
What happens at band camp kind of stays at band camp.
So one time in band camp, our field commander from last year, Sam, he was getting a little frustrated with our performance, and we all saw the water that the band parents had brought up for us, and we were all like, finally, we're gonna get to that. We're finally having a break, and I know Sam called Mo out to go get him a cup of water, and Mo brought him back a cup of water, and then Sam took it, and he was saying, and he said, if we want a break, we're gonna have to work for it, and then tip the water out of the cup and all over the floor, and we practiced for another half hour until we got our break.
Well, one time in band camp, we were on the parking lot outside, and it was the middle of the afternoon, and my friend asked if the sun was the moon, and it was obviously the sun because it was super bright and yellow and orange.
Out of all those events, the thing that I really thought was coolest was during band camp. You know, after a long day of marching through the sun, getting yelled at, well, we used to get yelled at. These days, it's not a good thing. So, just trying to learn all that stuff. Eventually, Mr. Sweatman marches us out, and there was a fire truck sitting right there, and he would just spray us down. It is so relieving. All our stress, all our worries just washes away. And also the stinky smell, kinda.
So this one time at band camp, my friend won the most dedicated award because he did not have the courage to ask to go to the bathroom for it was after dinner break, and he just couldn't bring himself to ask, and he had himself an accident, and he comes up to me after we were done with the night. We were ready to go inside and put our stuff away, and he walked up to me and he said, God, I wonder if they're gonna give us a bathroom break. And I said, what's wrong? And he said, I crapped my pants. And I said, when did you do this? And he's like, 2 hours ago. So he marched in it for 2 hours. and then somebody told all the officers in band, and they decided to make a special award for him. And when the field commander gave the speech about it, he put all kinds of puns in, like, band is never number 2 in his life. He never fails to do his duty. Stuff like that. And nobody in the band knew what it was about except for the people in my section. So we all were crying. And everybody else was looking at us like, what's wrong with you guys? So yeah, that's my favorite memory of band. Oh, he has a nickname now.
What's that?
Hershey Squirts. I came up with it. That's what he's in my phone as.
My favorite song has to be Old Man River because it has lots of good memories from freshman year attached to it. It was the first song I ever played in marching band. It was the opening to our freshman show.
My favorite song is My Favorite Things, which we played freshman year. And it's like the first song that I ever like knew how to play in marching band ever, so yeah. It holds a special place in my heart.
Oh, my favorite song out of the 4 years. That's probably Night on Bald Mountain. It has so much intensity, and I just got to blast my part, and it was really fun. I still have it memorized, and we haven't played that in over a year. Seven Nation Army is pretty fun too, if you do the band version instead of what I did for Best Vote Kills, because it starts at baseline, it's just me, and I love to show off.
Sing, 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 for sure. That was like the coolest song to perform on bass. And also the arrangement that we had for Work Song when I was a freshman had a bass solo in it, and it was the first time I ever got comfortable playing a bass solo in front of people because the senior who normally played it was out. So I had to do it, and if it wasn't for that experience, I probably wouldn't be comfortable playing solos today.
Probably my favorite song was Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, because we got to stand on the band field and shout Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, because then I ended up actually listening to the real version from Rocky Horror, I think it's Rocky Horror. I was really good. I enjoyed that song. I still listen to it today, so yeah.
My favorite song has gotta be Eleanor Rigby from the Beatles show. That was probably the most fun I've had playing a song, because I'm just like, it's a song that I enjoy outside of band, and getting to play it in band was really awesome. So yeah, that entire Beatles show was just great. I don't know, it might have just been because that was the show that was at Nippert Stadium. So that was the show when you were in front of that entire crowd, and I was playing this song that I already knew every beat to and every note to from like just loving the song. So it was just like really surreal to just be in front of that many people when you're just a tiny little 9th grader. So
My favorite song over the past 4 years of my band career, I'd have to say, was Pretty Fly. We played that our freshman year, and everybody would sing it. All at the very beginning, we would all sing the lyrics to the song, and just those experiences, it's really what makes you love band.
My favorite song was Night on Bald Mountain, and the only reason I liked it is because we played it for 2 years, and I got to play piccolo for it, and it has some really high notes, and I really liked it.
Okay, my favorite marching song has probably been Independence Day, just because that was one of my favorite shows from my sophomore year. My favorite concert piece would probably be from this year, and it was Back to the Future, just because we were getting ready to play around the time of the anniversary of going back in time. It was fun. It was technical, but it was very fun.
One event that was my favorite was we went to Kroger last year, and we got to play for the little clinic that just opened, and it was super fun. We got to march around in the aisles. Everyone was really freaked out.
Freshman year, we did James Bond, and that was just a really fun piece because of what I remember was the different crescendos, and the low brass part in that song is really deep and meaningful, and being in low brass, it's a little more to show what my instrument can do, our instruments can do.
My favorite marching band song would probably be Independence Day, which we played my sophomore year for the Space Show, and it was just such a great tune with wonderful melodies for the mellophones.
One of them is marching band. Not many people like it, but it's Land of a Thousand Dances. I just enjoy playing it, but it gets boring fast.
I'd say my favorite piece of music was Night on Bald Mountain. It was just very involved. We did a little dance, and it was just really fun to play. It was interesting. It was loud. So I play trumpets, so louder the better.
My favorite song was Tequila. Had so much fun with it, and it had one of my favorite solos ever, played by my friend Zach Nose. And probably one of the reasons it was my favorite was because whenever we would play it, if it was an adult performance we were playing for, seniors or a banquet or something with adults, we would shout out tequila when we got to that part. But if it was kids or if it was an enrichment day, we would all go da 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 Kool-Aid, and we'd shout out Kool-Aid instead of tequila. And that's just a really fun memory I have from band.
My favorite song from the 4 years would have to be actually the Star Wars piece that we're practicing right now. It's pretty great. It's one of the best Star Wars compositions that I've seen, so it's fun to play.
When we finish a show or in marching band or when we finish a concert and everything just goes amazing, it just feels, it's like undescribable, the feeling of when we walk off the stage or when we walk off the field and just all the applauding and cheering, and it's just a really good feeling, and it not only makes me proud, but it makes everyone else, I think, really proud.
I will probably take away everything. Like, it's a lot to soak in, learning new stuff every day in band class and, you know, in marching band practice and all that stuff. I have learned throughout band that even though a person may look distraught or, you know, like not good, they're like some of the nicest people I've ever met, and I'm glad that I'm in band.
The most I'll miss about this program is how close I am with all the people. This group of people that we're with now is just one of a kind. You'll never have it again. And knowing that all of them are just going to be scattered throughout multiple colleges and we won't probably play as the same group again, it'll just mean so much.
One of the most useful things that I've learned in my 4 years of being here, to be early is to be on time. You always want to make sure you're early, because even when you're early, you're still late. No matter what time you get there, you will always be late unless...
I want to be a role model for them. I'm not flawless, and I'm not like perfect, but I want people to be comfortable with me and be able to look up to me and see that they can do things they never thought they could achieve. The things that I learn with band, I can use for the rest of my life. I mean, the great leadership roles from freshman year to this year. There's so many opportunities to take initiative in one way or another, whether it's within your section, in concert band, or helping a younger classmate learn roll step or something. There's always something you can do to give yourself a confidence boost, and that's always really nice going into the real world. Everyone is like really antsy when they first do it, so to come out of high school with that much confidence and like sense of knowing who you are, it's really good, because then you're not lost totally. But also just the responsibility and the dedication and the determination that band requires is beyond anything else I can think of that I've experienced. And it really shows you can, if you really want to do something, you just have to put your heart into it. And if you take the time to do it, you can achieve it. You can do it. What I would take away from band is that the world is going to get a little scary at times. And you're not always going to have confidence in your abilities. But you just always got to remember that you can do anything you set your mind to. I mean, you can accomplish amazing things if you just push yourself and you just put in the time and you knock it out of the park. And it's just so wonderful knowing I can do what I want to do and I can live my life how I want to live it.
I feel like band taught me how to be a leader and like how to take initiative and stuff. And also, like I said earlier, time management and how to manage everything that's going on.
People do look like the instrument that they play. You know, all the girls play flute, except for we do have one boy, but Andrew, of course, plays euphonium. I feel like he could probably look like he plays saxophone maybe, but For the most part, I feel like you can definitely tell who plays what, especially drumline. Drumline is really obvious.
I mean, there's always a saying that the trumpets have the biggest egos. We're always so loud, and yeah, I have to say so. You can really just how the instrument sounds, how you play it. I mean, I could see it reflecting who you are as a person, and I know it kind of does with me.
What the band program has taught me, it has taught me discipline, honor, integrity, loyalty, family, love, and also teach me teamwork and being humble and the power of one compliment. When I was a freshman, I came in and it was a really rough time for me because I couldn't march, I couldn't play, and I was really down on my luck. I lost all my self-confidence, and I was about to leave band. I didn't feel like I was a good band member, a good contributor in the whole group. But then one of my section members, her name was Jess, she came on over and she said, "Johnny, you're the best dang marcher in this band." You know, that one compliment, it only took one compliment to raise me up, give me that confidence, and solidify my loyalty to band, to my section. From that day onwards, I worked hard to repay her back for making me feel like I'm something instead of nothing. The power of one compliment. That's sometimes all it takes for anything in life.
What I love about it is that you get pushed, and not only you're challenged, but you also have a supportive amount of people behind you to help you reach that challenge and also push yourself to a higher level.
For me, it was at the end of freshman year, I was like, this is awesome. I'm going to keep on doing this for the rest of my high school career, and it was probably the best decision I've made.
Band kind of taught me to deal with hard things, and I don't think I'd be able to handle harder situations now if I didn't have it.
I think something that the kids would say that they hear me do often or say often is that I'm definitely never sarcastic, ever. That's a complete lie. That's totally a complete lie. And I never have any problems or issues with the percussion section, ever. That's totally another lie also. I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. But no, we have a good time. Our personalities show often, and we joke a lot, and we share stories, and it's a great time.
My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote is probably, whenever I'm tired, I'm tired a lot, so whenever I yawn in front of him, he'll be like, "Oh, are you gonna make it?" Like, he says that so often to me. It's like, I have to like make sure I don't yawn in front of him because I know he'll say it.
My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote is like, after class, he'll say, "All right, guys, I think we'll call it a day there. See ya." Like, it's funnier than it sounds. It's every day.
My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote is more like a phrase that he said back in the fall. Something, it was in the band room, just kind of random, and he said, "Chill bumps," and we were all just kind of looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? And he like lifts up his sleeve and shows, goosebumps, and we're all like, they're called goosebumps, and he's like, "No, they're chill bumps," and we're like, no, and it's just, I guess because he's was born in Georgia and was raised up or grew up there. Maybe that's, I guess what they called them down the South. So he was just kind of odd.
Oh, my favorite Mr. Sweatman quote would probably be, "Get this out of my face." The story behind that is me and my friend Anthony, we were trying to figure a halftime show to do for a basketball game, and we ended up taking a Just Dance clip, like the video game, and we showed it to Mr. Sweatman, and it was just the craziest, but funniest thing, and he just kind of smiled and chuckled, handed the phone back, he's like, "Get this out of my face," and we both left his office cracking up laughing.
My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote is, "What is lit?" Or, "What's turn up?" me and some friends always made it a goal to try to use the words lit and turn up as much as we could around him, and he never understood what it meant. And one day, it was Best of Oak Hills, we walked in, we're like, we're so lit right now, Mr. Sweatman. And he's like, what is lit? And I didn't want to tell him, so he went and looked it up, and he walked up to one of my friends later and he says, so I just looked up what lit is, and if you guys are a combination of drunk or high, you need to go home right now.
My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote is during the Best of Oak Hills when I pointed to a light and I said, they use that on Broadway, and he pointed back at it and said, oh, so that's a Broadway, to the light. So that's my favorite Mr. Sweatman quote.
Dylan Humbert in class, he always goes, Dylan, get off your phone. You're not even trying to hide it at this point. He's just like, you're not even trying. Because he's always kicked back and he's got his phone. And he stops trying to hide it at a certain point. Mr. Sweatman always gets him for that. So that's why my favorite quote is just the constant berating of Dylan. There's a few times where he'll just shout out numbers and like he won't know. He'll be like, go to measure 75. 77. He'll just go back and forth. He'll be like, no, I want to get into the song, 77, 75. And he just won't be able to figure out what part of the song he wants to get into. There's a couple times like that.
Well, mine would have to be what he had recently told me while I was on my phone in class. I wasn't really hiding it very well. And my favorite Mr. Sweatman quote would have to be when he told me that I'm gonna have to start using my noodle, college is coming.
My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote is, I'm a band teacher, I don't have any dating advice.
My favorite Mrs. Sweatman quote, oh man, Mrs. Sweatman's a swell guy. One time in class, one of my section members sneezed, so grabbed the tissue box and then down the row, we passed it when Mrs. Sweatman was up on the soapbox. And then Mrs. Sweatman's just up here doing his thing. He saw that, but he went on. And then once she got her tissues, she started handing it back to us. And then once it got into my hands, my neighbor, she's my arch nemesis, so I have to mess with her in some way. So I went to go give it to her, but like, nope! and then I just started messing around with her a little bit. And then Mrs. Sweatman, he's like, put down that tissue box! And I went, under your chair! I'm sorry, Mrs. Sweatman.
Yay!
Alright, first one.
Favorite Mr. Sweatman quote came a couple weeks ago. It was being said to a student, it was, use your noodle, college is coming.
My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote would be, you got me. You got me? It goes like this rhythm goes like this. You got da 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 da. You got me?
My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote would probably be, play like a brick. He was complaining because everyone's sound was like a wah, wah, wah sound, and he just wanted a ta.
Alright. Well, one of my favorite Mr. Sweatman quotes was, Riley is not allowed to answer. We were in symphonic, and so there's just a bunch of these freshmen who didn't really want to answer or know the answer, so she would always end up with her hand up or raised, and it just got to the point where we were just calling everyone else but her.
One day I went up to Mr. Sweatman after class and I said, Mr. Sweatman, do you think a duck's favorite snack is Quackers? And Mr. Sweatman said, I don't know, Travis. I guess that depends if he has a speech impediment. And he was trying to be funny, but it came out very awkward. My second favorite Mr. Sweatman quote is probably right before the Best of Oak Hills. He came up to me and he said, man, you got really good at saxophone this year. And I said, well, I was already good at saxophone, Mr. Sweatman. He said, yeah, but you got like really good. And he said he was gonna miss me when I went off to college next year. And I just thought that the only reason I really got a lot better this year, even if I was already good, is because Mr. Sweatman takes the time to work hard with every section, every student, and make sure we all have what we need to succeed.
He says so many like weird and quirky things. My favorite Mr. Sweatman quote would have to be, thank God from today. Johnny always says the Snoopalicious dream, and Mr. Sweatman heard him today and he was just like baffled. So he also said Snoopalicious, and it's kind of like a cringy feeling when you hear him say that, so it's got to be the best so far.
The thing I'll miss most about band is all the friends I've made. I didn't expect to make this many friends, honestly, and I'm really gonna miss seeing them every day and like playing with them. So, my favorite memory was the school was having the musical Les Mis, and I got the opportunity to be in the orchestra pit.
I will probably miss everything. There's not much that I can say that I dislike about being in band besides, sometimes I'm annoyed or something, but that's everyone. And it's just the atmosphere and the feeling of being in band. I'm going to really miss that.
My favorite memory of being in band was playing, I believe, sophomore year at the Veterans Day Parade, and that was one of the most powerful Veterans Day parades for us, because we played the Star Spangled Banner and then the Armed Forces songs at attention the full time, and we were standing in a crowd of people, and I could just kind of feel in the background without looking, the people looking at us with respect.
My favorite memory from being in the band is all the football games, especially when you get those songs that you just love. You get pumped up and you just start getting into it, and it's just a great experience for anyone that's a part of the program.
In my 4 years in band, my favorite song was Magnificent Seven, because it was simple, it was sketchy, and plus I could play it. I'm a horrible player and I could play it, and I memorized it. And one time, this memory I will never forget, I went up to the Bridgetown Finer Meats down the road, and I brought in my flute. I assembled it because they asked me to play a song on my flute because they knew I was in marching band. I constantly went there after school to get food before band practice, and then I played Magnificent Seven. Da 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 da. And I played the whole thing for them, and then they went, woo! And they're like, okay, you get a pulled pork sandwich on the house.
My favorite memory of band is probably alumni night my junior year. My dad used to play here on trumpet, and my brother played here, and my sister played here. And so on alumni night, all three of them came up next to me on the field and played the fight song with me. The last time I played the fight song on the field, because then I became drum major. And it was just such a wonderful moment to see all the different generations of the band all have the same characteristics. Like it hasn't become corrupt. It's still this pure passion. I became drum major because I remember when I was a little girl, probably 4th grade, and I used to go to the football games because my brother was in the band. And I remember they did a Phantom of the Opera show, and the field commander had a Phantom of the Opera mask, and he just seemed the coolest thing with the cape. I mean, they all had capes, but it just seemed so unique, and I was like, that's really cool. And then a couple months later at the Harvest Home Parade, I saw the field commander with his mace, and it's like, I want to do that. That's something I want to do. I wrote a poem once about the thrills of being on the turf of the football field. Just the bright lights, and you're standing rigid at attention, trying the best you can do to see the drum major, and just you feel your heart begins to beat to the pulse of the music, and everyone is forming these great works of art, and it's just so thrilling. And going down on the street playing parades, you're tired and it's repetitive, but you look out and you see a little girl with a balloon from a clown, and she's just smiling and pointing like, oh, look, it's a trombone, when really it's a flute or something. And it's just wonderful to see.
I think my favorite memory of band was we went to UC Band Day my sophomore year, I think it was. And I think I had like 13 bags of apples. And it was just a fun time all around. I think the thing I'm going to miss most is seeing all of the people that I've met through the years and getting to see them every day over and over again. And just the family feeling of it.
Favorite memory would have to be, let's see. Well, we always have this Christmas party every year at band, and one of the best things is like hang out with all these people, playing a few games like Cards Against Humanity. It's pretty fun.
It's all worth it, even if like we're at a concert or something and people are talking or there's not many people, coming up to watch. Like if we're at a banquet or something, and even if there's only one or two people listening, we're still gonna play for them, and it's still gonna be worth it. All the hard work just to make even one person laugh or smile or be happy to hear music. Now I want to do jazz my whole life. I never want to quit it. Even after I graduate, I'll still be playing my saxophone every single day, hopefully forever.
My favorite memory was, I believe, sophomore year, UC Band Day, where we were all like hanging out in the courtyard, and we decided to play Ninja. I don't know if you know what that is, in our full uniforms, and someone broke theirs, which was a little bit hilarious at the time. But yeah, that was by far my favorite band memory. The thing I will miss most about the band program is basically the people. You spend 4 years getting to know everyone and really becoming friends with them. And once your 4 years in high school are over, you kind of go your separate ways and you get on with your life. So it's kind of a stark feeling.
I'll miss playing music every day in band because it just brings a way to show who I am. I like playing different kinds of songs that be from popular movies or classical pieces, songs that are modern now, and just kind of showing who I am, what I like to do. And it's gonna be hard to not be able to pick up the instrument every day, and play for an hour or whatever.
What I feel when you get into the uniform is you just feel cool. You have a cape. And you just like feel, I don't know, it's something about just being like looking that professional and everybody being the same. You're all there. You all look the same. It's uniform. It's really neat.
What gets me most excited about band is seeing my friends, and just it gives me a lot of opportunities.
To all my friends in band, to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. To me, you all are my world. Has been that way for 4 years with me. Together, we've been marching on that green turf, under that blinding light, with the sun being on the back of our necks, with the crowd attentively staring at us. For 4 years, together, we practiced, we performed, and we just celebrated everything that we could. And although you guys aren't blood related to me, you guys aren't my friend, you all my family. That relationship, that bond, that's what kept me going for all these years, and I think that's what kept us all going for all these years, through all those hard times, painful times, those glorious but often tedious times. That bond, that family relationship, that's what's kept us going. That's so irreplaceable. That's what made band so enjoyable, and most of all, unforgettable.